Hey, we're Imagine Dragons, and you're watching A-Sides Music.
Hey guys,
Hello.
how's it going? So let me ask you something. I mean, you guys have been on the road so long. Like, do you even remember your own homes or no?
Funny story. The two of us actually are homeless now.
Yeah.
Really?
We give notice to our landlord that we were moving out, and the bus is our home now.
It's
Yeah.
kind of pointless to have a home because we would literally spend maybe a week out of the year at home.
Right.
So it's like you pay rent for that 1 week.
It becomes like a glorified storage unit, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I always go to my home, but it's a glorified storage unit. So that's-
Well, you live in New York, so.
Yeah, just move to Manhattan and actually pay for a storage unit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. I mean, you put out an EP. You know, the first track takes off like unbelievable, and you're going in the studio while this whole thing's exploding. No pressure at all, right? To just come out with a full length or what?
You know, luckily I think that in the 3 years previous to that, we had written so much material that we already had a lot of the record written by the time that EP went out. It was really 3 years worth of work. We released, I think, 4 EPs before we even released our album. So we had a lot to choose from, and yeah, I don't know, we just really got lost in, it was at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas. You walk in, you have to go through the casino to get up there. There's so much noise around, and we really weren't even thinking about anything but just, tracking the music.
Just knocking it off, basically,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, you did release a lot of EPs, and it just seems like this trend in music now. I mean, EPs have been around forever.
Sure.
I even asked you when I interviewed you a while back, like, do you think just because everything's so immediate now that you just kind of have to churn out the EP versus just putting out an album?
I think that the strength of EPs, the prominence of them comes from people not listening to albums, in the order that they come out as much. Now people are looking for songs more, and we had some collections of songs that we wanted to release, but when we released our album, we really were looking for, we really wanted to release something that people would listen to from the beginning to the end, and it would take you on this journey following a very deliberate contour, kind of give you that listening experience you get when you put on, an old classic album like Dark Side of the Moon or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, going on with that, I think that, one of the main reasons too is for us, we just weren't ready to release an album. I don't think it was so much that, we're all about the EPs. We may never release an EP again. We may only do albums from here on out, The reason that it worked for us at the time is because we were a young band and we didn't want to fall prey to, I think it's really easy as a young band to just be like, let's write it out, let's make an album, before you even really know who you are, what your sound is, having a distinct, unique sound as a band is everything. And I think everybody kind of judges a band on what their sound is based on that first record. So we wanted to be very deliberate and careful to make sure that we understood who we were before we tried to tell it to anyone else. And it took us 4 EPs to get to that point.
I think every band is different. I think some bands maybe find it sooner, some find it later, but for us it was a journey for us, We had to play a lot of gigs and play together a lot to really find something that was unique, that we felt like was worth saying.
You're asked this a lot, so just we can quickly move over it. But I mean, It's Time was such a huge hit. And it's still, played seriously, way too, no, I'm just kidding. No, but it's still, the amazing thing, I even said this back in May, I think, when I interviewed you, the amazing thing is, it doesn't get on your nerves. You can hear it no matter how many times and blah, blah, blah. But I guess, just going back to the original point of the question was, how has it changed you guys? Because it's, I feel like some bands could just kind of, sit on their first single and, enjoy it. But, Radioactive's, right around the corner. And then that shoots to #1, at least on Alt Nation, on Sirius. It's a loaded question. There's a question in there somewhere, I promise you.
No, I think for us, from the get-go, our goal from day one was to be a career band. We never wanted to be a band of singles, I think it's really easy right now, too, to fall prey to that because the single is so strong in iTunes. People just go buy a single. It was very important to us that we established a sound, a brand, an album that people really wanted to listen to all the tracks. And so It's Time. It's strange how long that song has really lived for. It's really been a year, I think, since it went to radio. and it's still, you know, moving up the charts on top 40 now. You know, there's so many different kind of stages it's gone through, and now to see that Radioactive is you know, gone up the alternative charts, you know, we're just grateful to be here. You know, I feel like we all need to knock on wood 10 times, because all of us know that there's through our 4 years of being a band, we have met so many good bands on the road, that if given the chance, if their song was pushed or some luck of the draw, you know, they'd have the exact same success as us. We're not, you know, we've met so many talented people that we're just grateful to be here. You know, after 4 years of work, you know, we just feel like, you know, just keep working. There's no letting up. We're not going to let up for anything.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I mean, there's a ton of great bands out there, but you know, the album, there's substance to it, you know, and there's substance to your music. I'm not blowing smoke, it's just the truth, you know. So it's kind of cool, because you know, some bands, they can come out with like an It's Time, and then you know, the next song is basically It's Time 2, you know, and then the next one's It's Time 3, you know what I mean? Like they just turn out the same sound, same everything. Radioactive doesn't sound like It's Time, you know.
Yeah,
and the other tracks on the album, there is actually, I want to even say, like growth between the songs, you know, as you go further into it.
Yeah, I think maybe that stems from the fact that we just love songwriting so much. We write so many songs, and like songwriting's never been this thing that we have to do. It's like, okay, it's time for another album. When it's time for another EP, let's write some songs. It's always just been like an habitual thing that we do, and so it's so much a part of our everyday lives. I don't know.
I think we have a band philosophy also when it comes to songwriting that, you know, a song should be able to stand alone with chords and a melody. And if a song can't stand alone, stripped down to a chord, like either a piano and a guitar, and singing it, then you should probably start a new song or go back to square one. And then once you have a song that works that way, then you got to figure out, what does the song need? And we try to stay true to what each song needs. So, you know, a song like It's Time called for organic things like, you know, rim clicks and a mandolin, and a song like Radioactive seemed to call for more electronic sounds. So I think that's kind of where the diversity of the sound comes from.
Yeah, I think we've never wanted to pigeonhole ourselves. I mean, at the end of the day, we are a rock band, you know, drums, bass, guitar. But on the same note, you know, we're artists and we like to try different things and expand our horizons. And you know, even Night Visions, that album, I think we had literally at least 200 demos that we went through. We got this website and we put them all into categories, and everybody went through and we all rated them as a band. Very democratic. It was a lot of time that we put into making sure that we were picking our favorite songs, and then we took those into, you know, to the live setting and started to work them more and pull them apart and put them back together. I mean, there was a lot of work that went into making sure that, you know, we've never felt like every song we write is a great song. You know, I think it's similar as a writer. You know, sometimes your greatest work comes after stripping something down and rebuilding it over and over and over. And you know, and like Wayne said, every artist is different, so I don't want to say everybody needs to do that. There's a lot of great albums, I'm sure, that were written, just 10 songs popped out and they were great, 10 great songs. You know, for us, we believe in breaking it down, building it up, breaking it down, building it up until it's right, and that's what's worked for us.